Alright, so I live most of my life through experiencing and more or less like fuck around and find out method. Or at least that's what makes sense to me. So growing up most of my life, my dad taught me a couple valuable lessons, and one of them is you don't show people how smart you are because once they realize how useful that you can become to them, they will expect and ask questions from you. And depending if you're a wholesome person, you're clearly not going to try to steer them wrong. So they're going to always use you as a crutch. And once you become unuseful for them, they're going to eventually leave you. And because you're such a good person, you're going to be like, why? Why? So play stupid. Play a different IQ if you have to, because, like I said, everybody loves number one, but not everybody appreciates number one. Everybody remembers number one, but not everybody cares for number one. Uh, don't always ask for help. Like, I was working this one job, and honestly, I've learned a lot from working just in general, just being around the general population. Asking for help can be a very daunting thing because no matter how much you may need the help, or dependent on so much things like, is this something that you cause yourself? Is this something that life caused within itself? Like, what is it? Is this a job that you're doing that you need help and assistance for? So let's put this scenario, because I've not really gotten help in any of the aspects, regardless if I was working, regardless if it's something I did myself, or regardless if it was life affected. So here's one of the scenarios. When I used to work manual labor, 9 times out of 10, I didn't really ask my coworkers for help because I feel like I shouldn't need to. This is a job that we all are doing together, and this is for the greater good of getting the job done, getting the day done, and for us to get paid. So if I have to ask you for help, then clearly I don't think you should be my coworker. But because we have the same pay grade, or I might be a little bit higher paid, but blah this, blah that, the way that this fucking totem pole works, I can't tell you shit. But because management doesn't give a fuck as long as they have a body to fill in the spot, I still can't tell you shit. So either I can sit there and bicker with you, I can argue with you, I can start a horrible hate-fueled work feud with you and have to work with you all day, or I can just shut the fuck up and get this shit done by myself. Now, some people will be like, that's my type of person. But remember this, while I'm doing all this work by myself, think about how much weight I'm putting on my body. Think of how much extra things I have to do. I'm also thinking about a new job, because this ain't worth my temperamental. This ain't worth me killing everybody. This ain't worth me losing my temper. This ain't worth me hurting my body. This ain't worth shit. This is just the body to pay the rent, pay the bills, pay everything that I need to. This ain't shit to me. So when I need help there, it's like, really? You can't hire good people to help me? Well, I need help in life when it comes to something that I cannot foresee. It's just like, I really hope I saved enough money for it, because, like, yeah, you could try doing GoFundMe's and blah this and blah that, and it might help to some avail, and it might help to some avail, yeah, to some avail, or it may not. I'm not quite sure. I've just never been the type of person to actually walk around with my hand out. I will willingly and always be willing to help other people with their hands out, and that's just because, fuck it, it's a little bit of a pride thing, I guess. It's a little bit of just my upbringing, but it's me personally. But at the same time, I feel like if it's a me thing, I would love to ask for help. But at the same time, just like I said with the first story, just because people are paid to help you or paid to be there to help you get something done doesn't mean they're gonna help you. So it's like rejection. Fuck it. What's the point of asking if I'm gonna get rejected? But at the same time, you don't know until you ask. Another time, like, let's say something that clearly you could have not foreseen, something that could not affect, well, it affects you, but not something that you would have done intentionally, like riding your bike and your tire pops. Now, honestly, I've had a couple issues with bikes myself. Like, the chain falling off has mainly been my big one. I haven't really chain fall off. I got caught in chain at one point or another, doing some Confederate shit. Well, that's a different story. But that one, I feel like that's a lot more worthy to ask help from, aside from something I caused myself, unless it's something I caused myself and I didn't realize it's going to be this bad. But at the same time, still, I don't feel like that's help worthy. Personally, myself, I don't feel like, but everybody else's mindset's different. So when it comes to something that you couldn't really see, it all just depends on your skills and shit like that. Some people are like, oh, flat tire, big whoop, I can easily get that fixed, or I can manage it without any assistance. Some people are just like, fuck, I'm big enough, I can walk this bitch the rest of the way home. Some people are just like, oh my god, what do I do? So, like, for me, if I had a flat tire personally, I would just figure out a way to either ride it on the front wheel by having the back wheel on my shoulder, something like that, and just walk like that. My size, I could just pick it up and walk the rest of the way home, depending on how far I'm taking it home or something like that. But I've literally helped somebody when I was younger I know it was my middle school years because I was walking home from school, and I would say I got about halfway home, and I saw this kid, and he was like, I don't even remember if this kid actually ended up passing me when I was walking home, but I ended up seeing this kid, and he had his bike, and yeah, I wasn't really quite sure now I think about what was wrong with it. I think it might have been a chain or something like that, and I am very mechanically retarded. I don't know shit about nothing when it comes to vehicles. The fuck? When it comes to socials and when it comes to people and shit like that, I am a fucking genius. So that's where I excel, and I know where I excel, and I know where I fall. So I'm just like, But me being this, like, I've always been a decent size after like elementary, I want to say. So like me being the size that I was, and me being the intellect that I was, it's like I can't really do anything for you, but at the same time I felt obligated to help because fuck now, we're kind of going the same way anyways. So literally halfway on my walk home, I ended up carrying this dude's bike for, I don't know, I'd say probably like a couple blocks. Like, mine had to have been, he had to, from the side of the road that we're on, we had to take a right, and now I actually know the general area, but like that was the first time I've ever went off track of my path on the way home. So when I was walking him, I didn't really remember where the flip I was. It was like, the fuck is this? And it's just like a side road off of my main drag, which I would have went from. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this picturing wise. There's two. Okay, when I said I was halfway, I had to cross the street lights to get to the other side, and there's a whole new section, probably about like a mile long from that road. But from the school to where the street crossing was, street lights, I'd say it was probably another mile too. So I'd probably say about 2.5 mile walk to get home, because I got to the street light cross, got about a decent distance down there, then I saw the kid, and then he was probably about one street before, he was one street off from me. Like, I had to take a right to get him to where he had to go, and like, I didn't take him home, but I took him majority of the way home. He was like, my house is that one. I was like, okay. Like, I got tired, and I don't even think we really talked. I want to say we just mainly walked and didn't even have any type of small talk. I don't even remember if this kid was at a grade ahead of me, a grade below me, and to be honest, I don't think I actually ever remember seeing the kid. And to be honest, for being in a small location, a small school, I feel like the kid would have recognized me before I recognized him, because he was in the predominantly Caucasian area, and I'm not going to say all of them looked alike to me, but he definitely didn't have a aura, a face, or anything that stood out to me personally. So like, after I helped the kid, I personally assumed, because I don't remember what he looks like anymore, I've never seen or interacted with the kid again. But honestly, I may have had other interactions with the kid and never realized it, because I feel like when it comes to time and when it comes to separation, you don't know who you help, or at least I don't really remember who I've helped in many instances. Like, I have so many friends that I've also helped, but I've also had many acquaintances. I've had friends that I've ended up helping. I didn't even realize they knew each other, because I don't really communicate about it. I don't really ask around. I don't really care, because I figure, pay it forward. That's all that really matters. Like, I don't like asking for help, because I feel like you shouldn't need to ask for help. I feel like if you see somebody struggling, you should either help them or find somebody that can. If you choose not to do either one of them, well, you choose not to do either one of them. Nobody's obligated to do anything. But in my mind, I'm just like, would I want somebody to help me with this? If I had this as my problem, would I want some assistance? And that's how I try to think of a lot of things. Now, my dad never really taught me how to ask for help, so when it comes to helping him, I don't really know where he needs it, but at the same time, he'll always say thank you when I help him, even though he's never taught me how to ask for help. At the same time, like I said, I was never taught how to ask for help, so when people do help me, I do remember to thank them, because I didn't ask for it, but thank you for giving it to me anyways, because I've learned from multiple incidences. It doesn't matter if you ask people for help. It doesn't matter if you pay people for help. Help's not coming. Either you gotta be your own help, or you just have people that might help you. You don't know until you know, so just don't get upset. And make your team correctly. Make sure there are actually people there to help you and check you.